Hi people, it's been a while since I've uploaded a video. Dealing with some stuff. As per usual, these videos will probably offend people. Again, it's not my intent, it's literally just how I talk. In this video I'm probably just going to talk about scripts and the scripts that I'm working on. Before I start, be sure to leave a like, subscribe and leave a comment at the bottom. Hit that notification button, you know what. So currently I'm doing film studies and screenwriting. I used to do film production, so I know a bit about cameras, editing, stuff like that. Have a bit of experience on that. My expertise is kind of going into screenwriting and I want to go into TV, but unfortunately I have to start off doing film before I go into TV, which kind of sucks because I'm not really a film person, I'm more of a TV person, just because the type of stuff I want to work on, like narrative wise, I get a lot more leeway with TV than they do film. I think it's more challenging for me to do TV than it is for me to do film. On another basis though, if I were to go into film, I guess I'd be the person that kind of has the sort of ideas rather than someone that kind of takes charge of everything. So recently I have like 4 scripts that I am working on, or have worked on. 2 were done by myself and then the other 2 were in a group and paired. So for obvious reasons I'm not going to discuss like the characters or like the details of the plot or even the name of the plot, just because people tend to start stealing my ideas. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to narrow it down to the very, very thin basis of the scripts, because I don't think anyone can steal it that way. So the first script that I worked on, I did have my hesitations about doing this one, mostly because I'm not into doing horror stuff. I sort of do cautionary tales, psychological thriller stuff and experimental stuff. I don't do horror because I find it too cliche and quite frankly it doesn't scare me. So obviously myself and my group were all kind of expertise in screenwriting. I think 2 of us more than others, but yeah, so we're not really the film production side of things. So for me personally it mattered if people got the story. It didn't matter if it was visual as much, because again it's just a student film and again I just not expertise much in film production. Yes, I could pick up a camera. Am I good at picking up a camera? No. The narrative kind of followed the character. We had a very short time span to do it. We had like 5 minutes. So it's kind of hard to do a lot of things in 5 minutes. We did get a lot of feedback. It was mostly about the techie stuff, which I can understand. The audio was a little bit off. Some of the visuals could have been better. But one of the narrative kind of points that someone made was about how there wasn't enough explanation about the backstory, about the whole universe. Which I understand, but again it was 5 minutes, so to kind of do the entire story and do the backstory, that would take more than 5 minutes. Yes, I can narrow things down, but I can't narrow things down that much, otherwise it will literally just be the backstory, and the backstory would not have had a moral at all. It would have just been, this is how this universe is. It's not how the story I wanted to go. The story itself is my idea. Of course a lot of people contributed in the group to it. Essentially it was a team effort. So on to the second script that I was working on. This one was another one that I had to work with someone else. It was a paired one. It's a dark humour one, again with the dark stuff. That's kind of my thing. Not horror though, it's a different type of thing. Anyway, so we had a lot of feedback for that one. a lot of people liked it. It was just a script, we didn't have to make it, because I'm pretty sure I'd have issues making it due to the content of it. It was very experimental, kind of dark humour stuff, in my eyes, if you were to do it practically, because how you would do it would be just a tad difficult. So yeah, you would have to get loads of permission and stuff, but my lecturer kind of read it, and I don't think they understood the humour. So I spoke to some people about it, and they were sort of like, well, they're like two different types of kind of humour. There's like the ha 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 humour, and then there's my type of humour, which is kind of like, it'll go serious, and then it will get funny dark. Most people don't understand that. My teacher sort of read it as if it would make more sense to her personally if it was ha 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 humour throughout the entire thing. It did kind of make me self-conscious about whether people will understand my scripts or not. But that's more to the basis of when you kind of do scripts, you get taught not to be really descriptive. And because I write as well, it used to be very difficult for me to differentiate between writing a story, which is very descriptive, or just writing a script which isn't that descriptive, unless you have to make it descriptive and it has to be necessary to the plot. Otherwise it's just kind of like mention, say a location, it would just be a generic room, you wouldn't have to mention the details of it. Of course, though, I got taught in a different way about how to make scripts. I got taught how to make scripts with the director's hat in motion, sort of. So I would write as a screenwriter, but then I would consider the director's hat as well, so then I would start putting in shots. Yeah, we get told not to do that in film studies and screenwriting, which it kind of conflicts what I got taught a little bit, because it's kind of, I think I got taught how, if it feels okay to you, then do it. So for me personally, to like write a script with regard to how it's going to be shot, that's kind of my area where I'm comfortable. But if I'm just writing with just a screenwriter's hat, then for me personally it's kind of bland. It's different for different people. But yeah, I did have a lot of feedback with how I write as well, which I questioned a lot. The third script I wrote isn't actually a script, it's more of a beat sheet, and then we got told to write a synopsis. This one, fortunately I was by myself, which I didn't mind, because I don't mind working with people. I usually prefer working by myself, but sometimes I struggle. This time I didn't know, so I kind of wrote a piece. I'm not really sure what genre it is. I know it's kind of dark, obviously. I would say it is, I don't know, it's kind of really experimental. It's kind of hard to pinpoint what genre it is, and then someone read it and then they suggested I make it into a comedy. And then I was personally like, why would it be a comedy? Because I kind of based it off the scene in Full Metal Jacket where the dude kind of like shoots his head and then shoots the commander, and then shoots his head. Because I really like that bit, it's really deep and I find it relatable and it really got to me. So I kind of based it on that, and then based it on something I got really pissed off about at the time. My teacher liked it, which is good, but the whole make it into a comedy thing, I don't know where people got that from. Again, making me self-conscious about where people are getting the ideas from when I write, where they get in their kind of thought process, in the sense of it's a serious piece, it's not meant to be funny. I wouldn't have altered it or purposely alter it to make it funny. The point of this particular piece was to point out the fact that when something bad happens and when someone dies, nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. Everyone's just going to carry on with their lives, and the cycle will continue because the person's dead, and they'll do the whole, oh, so sorry, but they genuinely wouldn't care, or just be fake. And so yeah, that was the moral of that particular story, which begs to differ the moral of the other stories. The second one I worked on, it doesn't really have a moral, I guess. Oh, wait, no, it sort of did, because I remember writing it, having the idea as such, with the thought process of kind of like relationships, and when it's not just a relationship, it's more of a parenthood as well. But yeah, that's the more for the second one. And the first one I mentioned at the beginning of this video, that it was literally just the moral of society will treat people who are different like shit. And especially when you have depression, so they're going to continuously treat you like shit, because that's just what society does. There's nothing you can do to stop it, pretty much. That's the moral of the story. Again, all these are sort of morbid, and people will be like, oh, but there's a good side to things, and I'm like, well, I'm sort of a pessimist, so I'm kind of like, no, there's not really a good side to things, it's just how things are. It's like when people go, oh, there must be something good in your life, and I'm like, well, not really, it's kind of going downhill, so at least I'm not personally lying to myself, because I know it's going downhill. But that's a story for another day, which I probably will not mention, because you're not meant to mention that sort of stuff on this platform. Okay, so the last script that I'm working on is literally a script that has been narrowed down to 2 minutes, because that was the assignment we got given. The moral of the story as such is sort of difficult to pinpoint. It's kind of open to interpretation, this specific one, which is weird because I don't usually do stuff that's open to interpretation. This one sort of gives an Inception, sort of Stranger Things, sort of paranormal activity type thing to it. It's supposed to freak out your mind a bit and like make you question a lot of things within 2 minutes. So it makes you question yourself. But yeah, I kind of like using sound a lot and lighting. So this one's probably going to have a lot of sound, because the first one I done in the first script, it had this theme song that linked in with the moral of the story so much that it went well, because you wouldn't really like put old song to a new thing. I sort of, well, you can, but I done it to the point where there was a point for me to put that specific song in the soundtrack. This particular piece is a psychological thriller. It is experimental filmmaking type stuff. It's like the first Saw movie, which I recently saw. It only happens in one kind of room. So it doesn't really take place anywhere else. Literally just one person. Literally not really anything happens. It's kind of watching paint dry, but in a very, very, very dark and disturbing way. I don't know how else to describe it without giving away too much. Because obviously I'm still working on it, and it probably won't get released until the end of March. Yeah, the end of March. And hopefully it'll come out good this time. I'll get some good feedback, but I'll just have to wait and see. This one I'm going to kind of introduce my signature colours, because I have signature colours that I like to use. I'm not sure if anyone's going to notice it or not. I've sort of used it in the first script that I done, which actually became a piece. Obviously I didn't put it on this platform for like kind of reasons, and yeah, so those are the scripts I'm working on, hoping to work on some more. Obviously I'm still working on a TV series that is kind of ongoing at the moment. I've been working on it for years. Only just started to develop the characters, but there's still gaps and things. I'm always going to have the issue at this point in time that actors and locations are always going to be a massive issue. But I think you get that like with a lot of films when you're a student, that just finding actors is going to be an issue, finding location is going to be an issue, and obviously logistics is going to be an issue. I probably said that wrong, but basically it's to take equipment from A to B. Can't talk today. Yeah, but I'm trying to talk anyway. Yeah, so it kind of bugs me when that happens, and then you do get people who actually do act and stuff, which is good because it means in the future that I'll remember that and be like, well, they actually helped me with the student film, so they're actually good with the commitment and stuff like that, which when that happens and you do actually get some people who want to act and they're good, that is definitely the case. I would definitely recommend them to other people. That's all I wanted to talk about today. Yeah, shaky cam because I'm like trying to like experiment with where I film and how I film. Yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next video, which will hopefully be soon. I've got some reviews going, it's just a matter of filming them. I have like 6 episodes worth of film reviews and TV reviews, so stay tuned to that. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.